So, hello and welcome to the first episode of what I'd like to call is just a build log, fabrication series, little bits and bobs like that. The future goals for this channel is pretty much to eventually have my own fabrication business where I make performance parts for cars. So, intercooler pipe work, intercooler fitting, harness bars, bits and bobs like that, exhausts, the works really. My name's Aidan. I'm 28 years old. I'm self-taught TIG welder and self-taught mechanic as well. I spend my time messing around with cars, looking and finding ways to make them more fun, enjoyable for a decent price without actually having to spend hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Where we're going with this today is I have a Seat Leon Cupra. It's a 2008 car, 2-litre TFSI. It's quite a common engine in the VAG market, and they're brilliant. I've always had good response with the cars. I originally had another 2007 Seat Leon Cupra. I played around with that. That was stage 2 with APR. We made about 352 horsepower on the dyno with that, and that was a really good fun car. And since then I've always had a sort of hankering for another one, so in the last couple of months I went out and bought myself another one. You'll see it in a couple of minutes, and everything that I've done to it so far are only small sort of things. We're now starting to get to the larger things which I can make more and better for me. Everything on this channel is going to be made here by me in my shed. As you can see, it's all wood. I've got pillar drills, welders, bits and bobs that I'll be using to make those, and it just gives you a good insight into how easy it is for you to understand and make these parts yourself for not a lot of money. I mean, an exhaust system, for example, it's £600-700 from a shop, already bought, ready to go. Fair enough, totally fine with you using those, and they are so easy to use. You just buy them and fit them. It's not a hard job, but making something yourself, you get satisfaction of all that. So yeah, today we're going to be looking at fitting and working out how this exhaust is going to fit, because I've ordered a Maxton designed Seat Leon Cupra R diffuser for my car. So rather than the single exit on one side, it's going to end up with the twin exit in the center. So yeah, we've got to work out how many bends we need, how much length of pipe we need, and the size of the silencer that's going into the system, because I don't want it too loud. It is a daily driver. I don't want to be blowing the ears off everyone around here and annoying all the neighbours. All this is just a laugh, because we're going to be seeing how it pans out, and if it carries on then I'll continue making the videos. So hopefully you enjoy, and let's get into it. I'll show you the car now. Okay, so this is my 2008 Seat Leon Cupra R. As you can see, we've had the car 2 or 3 months. Couple of little things we've done: changed the recirculation valve at the latest revision and the PCV. We've put some Iridium plugs in there, changed the intake to a Ram air cold intake, and then heat wrapped with some gold reflective tape. Some Polybush engine mounts, which are just Powerflex's slide in engine mounts. They stiffen the car up a lot, stop the engine movement, which was brilliant. And I've just noticed the oil cap's on the wrong way, so we'll just turn that round. Sorry, I'm right-handed, not left. There we go. So that's better. Other than that, it's not done too many miles. It's a brilliant little car. I enjoy it. We painted the calipers yellow from the red, which they come as standard from the Cupra. Brakes are a little bit dirty just because it's obviously we're in lockdown. There's not really much happening. So the main point of the video today is to start with the custom exhausts that we're going to be doing. So at the moment you can see that we have the single tip to the left. We're going to be changing that to a Maxim Designs diffuser on the rear, and then we're going to change that from just this one to the two in the centre, and it also changes the diffuser to gloss black. So we're going to get underneath the car, get it up on ramps. Once it's up on the ramps, we can work out whereabouts we are going to route that.
Perfect.
So remember guys, always safety first. Chuck a wheel block under there so you it doesn't roll forward, and then we're pretty much good to go under here. The car is now up on the ramps. We're now just going to get underneath and have a look and see whereabouts we're going. So the car currently has a 3-inch downpipe, which goes up to the centre section bit that you can just see just here. This is standard exhaust. We found out after a version of the car that someone had done a resonator delete on the middle silencer there, which you can see, and then this all comes up to the standard exhaust, which comes out to the left hand side. Now all of that is going to be changed. The exhaust is still going to follow the same route as what comes under there, and it's going to be cut here, comes straight and straight out to the back. Should increase the flow of the exhaust as well, which is always good, as you want the exhaust gases to get out away from the car as quick as possible, and also it makes an awesome noise. So yep, as I thought, we're going to need 190 degree bend to come round from this bit here, and then probably maybe a 300mm piece of stainless, then to another 90 degree bend, which will be over here into our silencer. Now we've got obviously all this massive area here to fit the silencer in. We want to keep that as big as possible because I'm not wanting a massively loud exhaust, just something enough to make it a bit nicer sounding than it is at the moment. And then once it gets to here, there'll be a 45 degree bend with maybe a 15 degree pie cut in here just to notch it down under the rear subframe, come across around here and then onto the rest of the exhaust. So I'm just going to measure that up quickly and get back to it in a second. So first I'm just going to measure how wide the narrowest point is, which is 10 inches wide. So a 10 inch by 5 inch silencer isn't fit in there too well. Also you've got to have space for these bends, so I'm just going to measure this, the actual part that they've cut out themselves, which is 14 inches. I mean, I was looking at a 14 inch by 6 inch silencer, so a 6 inch silencer will actually reach to about there. So a nice 6 inch by 14 is right where we want that, so we'll mark that down. We need two 90 degrees here, 145, 145 to here, and then probably a good metre of stainless itself to reach, and that's going to be 8 inches. 60 inches. So 40 plus. So I need at least 80 centimetres of stainless 304. So just touching up on the last part of the exhaust from the centre section, which comes out there. and come up to here, what was going to happen is when we get down to this point here, we're going to have a Y piece which is going to stay 3 inch. We're not going to drop down to 2.5 or 2.75. There's not much cost difference in actually continuing on in 3 inches, only about 30-40p per bend really. So we're going to put that single 3 inch into 2 twin 3 inches, which will then go into the back 2 4 inch tips. So it will be a true 3 inch exhaust from the turbo all the way back to the rear tips. I am planning on changing the downpipe, which is all the way down there, with that bit from here. As it goes up to the turbo, a lot of people change over to 3.5 inch, which is literally just a 90-degree in 3.5 inch, then reduces down to 3 inch anyway. It just aids spooling of the turbo and stuff like that. So that's a later on thing. Once all this exhaust is done, I'll get that changed and welded up as well. At the back of our car, we've got the 245 degrees, which come in like that. This is obviously the rear box at the moment, is in a big square here. Once we do that, we need to pretty much make a piece of piping that goes like so and then out. Now there's two ways of doing this. You can buy these bits pre-made. 3 inch one of those is probably about 40 or 50 quid. Well, I need sort of 2 bends, which are about 15-20 pound. So I buy 2 90-degree bends like so, cut them in the middle. So yeah, they're 90-degree, cut it in the middle, and then what we do is we turn that 45-degree that way, and then the other 45-degree that way, which then brings us back straight, except as you notice now we are slightly over. And then if we do the same the other way, I'll just rub that one out. So if we do the same the other way, we get that sort of situation going on. So you have your 2 bits of pipe with 1 weld straight through the middle there. Now the hard bit is getting these 2 to join together into a seamless 3 inch joint, which then joins onto the rest of our exhaust, which goes out that way like that. Because obviously you've got a straight bit of pipe here, you want this bit here and here to meet up with that perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 2 45-degree bends, I'm going to measure this bit here, which will be 76.3 mil, because that's the measurement of a 3 inch pipe, and we're going to half that down, run it, and basically we're going to hacksaw straight down the middle there like that. If we do that both exactly the same on both sides with the same amount, obviously we'll have a bit of pipe which is left like that one side and like that other side. Then you push those 2 together and weld it down this seam here, which is also that seam there when they're pushed together. And then once that goes onto that pipe, you end up with a nice bit of straight, and then you'll have like a nice groove to it as such, and then it'll flow like that. So you'll have this nice little weld which will be along here, and then your weld will be along there. So what that will do is it will increase the flow, it will split it nicely. You'll have a nice sharp joint on this corner, which will push the flow of the exhaust around and out, rather than a lot of other exhausts where I've seen where they buy it by 180-degree bend, which is a U piece, and they'll cut a hole and just chuck it in like that. That will work, but a lot of these 180 U bend pieces tend to be more squared than oval. So as you can see, that square versus a nice flow like that, the exhaust is going to flow a lot better, whereas that one's going to hit and then have to go sideways to come round. This way it should flow pretty much through in a nice similar fashion. It's not massive amounts of work. It is fiddly, and getting the cuts precise is the hardest part. But once you've got those cuts and that's done, you end up with a nice exhaust. And then all you do is add a cone reducer onto these ends, like so. And then your 4 inch tips there, which are going to be cut. and that's pretty much where we're getting up to. This is obviously 145 degree here. Then the next 45 degree is down here to another silencer, and then we have 190, and then from here we have a 45 degree. Sorry for the dodgy drawing, but that pretty much marks up how we're gonna do the exhaust, like so. This is all going to be 76mm stainless 304, and then this pipe here is going to be a 6" by a 14" silencer. So yeah, as you can see, 45, 45, 90, and a 90, and then to make these two bends, I need 2 times 90 degree pipes, and that pretty much makes it up. These will be a 3" to a 4" reducer, and then obviously some 4" pipe. I am trying to see if I can get hold of some titanium to do the tips in, but at the moment I can only buy it in metre lengths, and they're about £120 for a metre length of titanium. So that may be just a standard 4" tip for now. So yeah, that's our exhaust bit complete. We're going to be running that for quite a while. 3" is easily enough for 600 horsepower. Which I don't think we'll ever get up to. The main point of the build is to obviously get the car to a usable power. I need some better front tyres. The tyres at the moment are pretty shocking. So we want to get that to a stage where we can take it on track and drive it to and from work, which is one of the main things for us, is to keep it usable but also fun. So a list of mods that I'm probably going to end up doing to the car are a set of coilovers. I probably will most likely try and get some KWs or something of the higher budget, because they are just such better quality than Jom, Raceland, and all the useless cheap eBay shit. Once we've got that, they can all go on. It's currently got the standard Cupra brakes, which are 345mm, which are a big brake. I would like to upgrade those to some better calipers. A lot of people are using, I think it's the RSQ3 brakes, or the TTRS brakes, or the RS3 brakes, I think they're mainly known for. They are just a better design. I think they're 4-piston calipers, which will give you a lot more clamping force on the brakes. Other than that, the car's in fairly decent condition, doesn't need any paintwork doing. We are literally just going to do some mods. Another sort of custom fabrication thing I'm going to be doing is a front mount intercooler. We're going to use basically what we call a welly cooler. That is a standard £100 intercooler from eBay. It's been proven over and over again of being reliable, even up to 400 horsepower, maybe more sometimes. Some people debate, pay a lot for the more expensive stuff, which slots straight in and everything like that. But I like seeing a nice big intercooler on the front of a car. It's a bit boy racerish, but I always have done. It's just one of those things that I like doing. And we'll be making some aluminium tubing. We've been playing around with some tubing recently, so we've got some aluminium there which I've welded up. So I'll be making the intercooler pipes from hard pipe kit, which, I mean, this is just literally a little bit of aluminium. It looks like 2mm thick. So yeah, just cut and welded, so it sits and it's solid. It will hold boost. We'll get that bit put on, and then once it's on, they won't be going anywhere. You probably only need 2 sort of silicone hoses by the end of it, just to make it fit to the standard pipes. We're also going to try and run a rear harness bar, maybe more of a rear strut bar than a harness bar. I've got some stock of just, I think it's 20mm thick, 20 or 30mm thick piping, which is just some stainless. It's just tube. I'll probably get a thicker bit, probably up to about 30-40mm for the main strut across the back. I'll show you a quick design on the board. So where the rear seats are, it's just going to be a straight across bit of pipe, and then I may exit. So I'll run an X that way, and then down into the seats. So these are the rear arches, like that. That's the plan. It's just working out, so obviously, how many bits of metal we need and everything like that, which is, again, it's just numbers. It's something not to be scared of. I've never done any sort of mechanical courses or anything as such. The only course I've done is TIG welding. I've done a couple of weeks training at a college, and then all I've done was just got my hands on it. I'm a strong believer in, if you can put your hands to it and get welding on it, do it. If you've got the opportunity, do it. It teaches you a lot, and it's quite a skill to have. A lot of people I have that are friends that are, oh, can you just weld this bit up for me? Yeah, sure, not a problem. And yeah, so we've got our exhaust plan over there. We've got the strut brace plan. We've got an intercooler plan. There's a lot of people out there that make these intercooler pipes already. They cost 200 quid upwards of intercooler pipes. So yeah, you can make a lot of things yourself cheaper. I mean, I've already bought a TIG welder, so that's the main expense. I mean, they're not cheap. They are an expensive purchase. But once you've got one, they do tend to last quite a while, especially if they're looked after, cleaned. I use a par weld machine, which is 200 amp AC DC, so I can weld aluminium, stainless, and everything like that. I wanted that because I wanted to do mainly motorsport and vehicle modifications, which is what I used it for, and I have used it for. I mean, you can make quite a lot of things with these, such as like little pie cuts, cubes, loads of other stuff. And yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot of things that I will be doing to the car which will be custom made or little bits and bobs, so hopefully I can bring you guys along with that and show you how we do it and how I get my head around it. I mean, as I say, I'm just a guy that's the same as most of you, into cars, enjoy doing it. I don't really like paying someone else for something that I can do myself, which is why I've taught myself all the things that I've done. So yeah, hopefully next time will be a bit more fun, a bit more cutting up, and a bit more actually working on the exhaust. It may just be a case of we're going to get the diffuser installed first, cut all that out so we know where we're ending up with our exhaust tips, and then we may take a couple more measurements just to make sure we've got all the bits to start doing the exhaust, and then we'll get there. It's going to be a good laugh, and hopefully it will sound rather nice at the end. So until next time, I'll catch you later.